I didn't upload a video on Thursday, and it wasn't because I didn't have one ready. It wasn't because there was a technical issue. It was because that was the day the news broke that Prince Rogers Nelson had died. And at that point I knew I didn't want to upload the video I had. I wanted to talk about the passing of this genius, one of the greatest artists to ever walk the planet. He may have called himself Prince, but there's no doubt he was a king. Here's what happened. The first Prince song I ever heard was in 1978. It was on For You and it was called Soft and Wet. And I remember thinking, can he say that? This was at a time, in 1978, musical artists didn't do that. There wasn't the proliferation of adult language on records like gangster rap now. This is long before Eazy-E, NWA, and all of that. You had comedians like Richard Pryor, Red Fox. They were recordings that had blue language, but they didn't necessitate airplay from radio in order to be successful. If you were a musician, you needed DJs and radio to play your albums. And I thought, he can't do this. But he did. And it was funky. And I liked it. With each additional album, I became a bigger and bigger fan. And everyone is talking about his music, so you can get that elsewhere. But I want to talk about how it impacted me. It would be an understatement to say that when I watched Prince, I thought I wanted to be a little bit like him. I can't do the things that he did. I could play the drums. I couldn't play the keyboard, the guitar, the horn, and everything else. But I always drew inspiration because I was like, he's just that good. And the interesting thing about Prince was he was always seen as a sex symbol. Women would go crazy for him, but there was always something just a little, let's call it, gentle. Women find themselves attracted to men who exude testosterone and manliness. The complete 180-degree polar opposite of that are men who have the capacity to embrace their feminine side. Prince could do that. And if you could do that, women just find that equally, if not even more attractive. It's like Prince was one of the few cats that could wear lace. Really? He was wearing like a camisole, and women thought, oh, that's hot. Eyeliner, all the rest. I can't pull off a thumb ring, but Prince could do it. Lenny Kravitz, Lenny can do it too. He's somebody else that can wear something that another cat can't wear. Even the other rock and rollers can't wear what Lenny wears, but it's sexy on Lenny, and everybody else, they just look at you sideways. The other thing that was unique for me about Prince was people would go to his concert and not care what he played. Sure, he would play the hits. He had so many, he would sometimes give you 8 bars of a song and move on. And you're like, no, come back. But he would go on to do something else. But he would play music you hadn't even heard before. And you didn't care. Didn't care. Whatever he was playing, I wanted to hear that. He was the sushi chef who doesn't give you a menu. You just eat whatever he serves up. When Purple Rain was at its height, I had seen the movie 2 or 3 times. I took my mother to see the movie in Chicago. My mother. And she loved it. My frat brothers would always tell me that I was too engrossed in Michael Jackson and Prince. I was a baby of MTV. I watched all the time. When Michael Jackson or Prince videos were on MTV, I would schedule the times to watch them. They always talked about Prince and Michael having a dance competition. I wanted to dance like them. The first time I got to see Prince, the performance that you can rent of the Purple Rain concert was recorded at Syracuse at the Carrier Dome. And I was there. And when you hear Purple Rain in the Carrier Dome, that's what an anthem is all about. We're taking you to church. Let the choir sing, hoo, 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 but do it in tune. I can't sing worth a lick. The last time I saw Prince, one of the last gatherings of Tavis Smiley's State of the Black Union. Tavis called me and said that Prince was going to do an after show at the Conga Room at the Staples Center and had tickets for me. I was always at the Summit, but I'm like, let's go to the concert. Conga Room, again, a very intimate setting. I mean, you could walk right up to the stage and there was his Purple Badness right there. But what was interesting, when he spoke from the stage, he said he had never really been that politically involved, but Tavis had got him involved. And I'll never forget, he said, you gotta have some wealth before you can spread the wealth. Help yourself become wealthy, and then if you take care of yourself, then you can start to help others. Won't forget that. In the concert that night again, he opened up for the first 20 minutes with songs that had folks in the Conga Room jamming, and we never heard them. I don't know what it was. I don't know what he was playing. I don't know if he hadn't just warmed up the band, but it was funky. I remember watching Dave Chappelle when he was doing the Charlie Murphy True Hollywood Stories, and they told a story about Rick James. And then I thought, I wonder if that really happened, or did they just get Rick to tell this story? Are they making it up? Something like that. But then I saw the Prince story. And when Charlie started telling the Prince story, I was like, oh my gosh. These are actually true stories, because Eddie had told me that story in his kitchen like years before, how Prince broke them down in heels, and Charlie Murphy, Charlie said they were gonna play shirts and blouses. It's just too good. This cat could play music on a world-class genius level, tell somebody to cook you some pancakes, and then cross you over in some heels. Come on, stop. From everything I've seen in the last couple of days, the interview that was the best question and the best answer for me was Oprah. Oprah said to Prince, people think you're weird, people think you're strange. What do you want them to know? And he said, the music. Right on. Most people were not going to get to know him. Most people weren't going to have the opportunity to get pancakes and get crossed over by him. But everyone would get a chance to know the music. When I look back on this week, it'll be the week that Prince died. And that's what happened. Thanks for watching. Sorry for the delayed upload on this video. I'll be on time next week. So subscribe, leave me a comment. Share the video with Prince fans, play some Prince music, celebrate the man's life, and until next Thursday, that's what happened.